What's happening, YouTube? I cannot tell y'all the joke I just told Larry because I don't want to get in no trouble. But what's good, my people? I'm just trying to set the mood with my man Larry before we get into a very gritty, a very dark, a very emotional episode 6 of Snowfall. Decisions had to be made. It's me, Lamont Tyson. It's the brother, the living legend, and you got to catch them while they living. The living legend, Larry, my brother, how you doing?
Oh, man, I'm good, man. I'm trying to stay living, you know? I'm just hanging tight, trying to get that next COVID shot in a couple of weeks so I can stay living.
Yeah, there's a diva in the house. There's a diva.
Here we go.
There's a diva in, and she putting on that high dollar Fenty. She putting on that high dollar Fenty lip gloss. It's the diva Nita, ladies and gentlemen. Nita the diva is in the building. How you doing, Nita?
Hey, you guys.
How are you? How was you feeling after that episode last night?
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. I feel like this has been the sentiment every episode, like clutching the pearls.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a damn good episode. Yeah. And you know, we was just discussing they had a whole lot of emotional attachments in this episode, two big ones in particular. So you had Wanda, which you are feeling a little bit more of her character. And then for those of you that like Fatback, you was torn up with what he went through. But we'll break it down piece by piece. We're still waiting on Moochie, but while Moochie is getting her stuff together, because Moochie has a stack of notes about this high. Moochie take detailed notes the whole hour. I don't even know how she enjoyed the show. She taking notes so well. So while she getting her notes together, let me shout out the people: Bruce, Malachi, KJ, 351 Cleveland, and every other 35 people watching right now. Give us a like, subscribe to all our channels. Nita the Diva does a lot of good work. Larry does the tech. And you guys come to me for generally everything, but we do TV shows over here too. And shouts out to my boy Dale. Let's start this thing off. I'm going to give you guys probably the clip
Nita,
that took me the most.
I think you missed a primp on that side.
Oh,
you were primping, but I think you missed that one right there. You go. There, you got to get it. There you go. Balance it out.
Larry, how are you going to tell a newspaper to print? You see that girl's shirt?
Irene. This for Irene.
See? That's what I know. That's what I'm telling you. She come prepared, ladies and gentlemen. You see her putting on that high dollar Fenty makeup. She comes in her newspaper print shirt. She got her hair perfectly placed. She's ready to do some talking and some debating.
She's coming through with Team Irene.
Exactly. This clip we're going to show you guys was the one that tore me up because it revealed the real gangster of the show that Muchella revealed to all of us 2 episodes ago. And I mean, if you queasy on your stomach, turn away for about 30 seconds. But take a look at this.
Where's Leon? Where's Leon? Oh, fuck, I told you. You're playing with you? Where the fuck is he? Ah, shit. Where is he?
I swear to God, I don't know shit. I don't know where the nigga is. Just stall the nigga out. I don't know. Just get the fuck off me.
Say a prayer.
It wasn't even like she was just quick stab. She was stabbing and then like dragging the knife.
Larry.
She was like trying to open him up.
Larry, you know,
just because of the fact, like, I mean, no pun intended. I'm just saying, like, just like from the sheer force of all of that mass that he.
I mean, Larry, it looked like she was a San Francisco 49er digging for gold. I mean, you don't normally stab people with your whole body like you're doing a fucking jumping jack. Man, if that's what happens when you make a mom parentless, I don't want no parts of that. And
I wouldn't even want to be her girlfriend, man. Could you imagine if you're just like, you know what, sweetie, it's not working out? She'll be like, oh, it's not? It's not working. Are you sure it's not working out? I'll be like, I don't know. Let me think. No, I think you're right. I think it's working just fine.
No, she auditioning to be in the new Scream movie that's going to star more black people. That's what she doing. She going to do it without the mask, man. But let's get into this. Everybody that's 47 of y'all, please give us a like and let me shout out my big homie right here, Bear Scope. $2.99. I appreciate that. I like numbers like that. We go to Target on numbers like that. And just for you, before we dive on into, let me give you something to laugh at, because after having shown y'all that gruesome killing, let me show you something that Larry can relate to.
You go ahead and burn all that.
My king, we cannot do that. It is our tradition.
When I tell you to do something, I mean that shit. Burn it all!
Now, see, that don't even seem so bad considering what Khadijah just did.
Whew. Khadijah just went off on some other level. Just, gosh.
Man, I mean, man, she was stabbing him like he was chunky soup, Larry. I'm telling you, she was not stabbing, she was digging. It was like she had a shovel.
She was stabbing him. She was cutting into him like she was a butcher, and she was trying to carve off some meat. Because she was just like cut and dragging the knife. And dragging it. I was like, my God, it's like she's trying to cut steaks out of him.
That's what she was doing. She planned on serving him up for Thanksgiving dinner. My goodness, but man, let's get on into this, man. So the very beginning of the episode, we see Larry's guy Teddy in a heated phone discussion with this guy right here. Teddy's got deadlines he's got to make. Larry, break this down for the people at home.
Yeah, I felt really bad for I actually felt really bad for Teddy right here, man, because something his dad said to him just, I think, hits home for some people. But I understand he had got his brother mixed up in some stuff. I'm not sure if his dad knows what he does, and I think his dad probably just knows the bad stuff and not the reasoning behind it, that he works with the CIA. So he probably just thinks he's like just a criminal, a drug runner, gun runner, whatever. And so he probably doesn't recognize what he really is. And so when he got his brother mixed up in it, he just thought he was getting his brother mixed up in some dirt, which he did, but he didn't understand the reasoning behind it. So when he told him, he was like, this should have been you. I was like, man, that just hurts. You can't say that to your child. That's just that is as low as you can go to tell someone that should have been you. Yeah. Not only does it say I loved your sibling more, but I wish you were dead. I would happily exchange you so that he could still be alive. And that's just, man.
Yeah. But they got you from the very beginning. Neither the diva.
But hold on. The thing was that was important about that was that Teddy has his own guilt about that, because they were saying like, dude wouldn't stop. He couldn't stop snorting cocaine. They wouldn't let him stop because he got him mixed up with those people, and they wouldn't let him stop snorting the cocaine, and he ended up having that heart failure. So it was in some respects it was Teddy's fault for getting him mixed up and all that. So I understand. It was terrible what his dad said, but I understand Teddy's guilt. And I think that leads to the reason why he's so pissed off at Franklin right now. Because Teddy's like, I just sacrificed my brother for this game. I don't want to hear any crap about you and Leon. Leon he's got to, he's got to chalk it up. He's just, this is the cost of the game. I gave up my actual brother. You're going to have to give yours up too.
Neither the diva. Thoughts, feelings, emotions on the opening scene, Teddy and Daddy.
I want to know why Larry has so much compassion for Teddy and his father and all of that, but don't have any compassion for Scully, Khadijah.
It didn't.
I'll tell you why I don't have any compassion.
I didn't hear. I mean, did I hear compassion for Teddy? Did you have compassion for Teddy, Larry?
He understood his guilt.
Oh, okay.
Can you give us some understanding too?
No, I do. I mean, I understand his guilt. I understand guilt on both sides. But my thing is, I don't have any compassion for Khadijah and for Scully, because Khadijah and Scully are just thugs, criminals. They're out there preying on their own people, and they're horrible human beings. And that's what it is. And
Teddy isn't?
Right.
I'll tell you what, Teddy's smart enough to not prey on his own people.
Didn't he just get his brother killed?
He did get his own brother killed, but that was one person and not an entire community of people. Okay. Teddy did not take crack to the middle class and start serving it up to housewives and school kids in his neighborhood. He took it somewhere else. Now, I'm not saying that what he's doing is right. I'm just saying, as Black people, maybe we should start exporting our poison somewhere else instead of destroying our own community if we're going to do it. You know,
a lot of times, like in situations like that, I always want to, I hate playing the victim, but we are in a society as the white people have established it to be. So we got to make sure we're not sitting up there saying that we have compassion for the white people because we were. Wait, I hear it.
But the thing is, here comes Moochie.
Yep, here comes Moochie.
Hi.
Oh, there she go. Moochie Stacks is in the building.
I had to go back to my car and get my book.
I told you. Did Larry did that?
Oh my goodness!
Didn't I tell you she had to get her notes together? I told you.
I had to run down to my car.
Yes.
Look, hold on.
Come through, Moochie.
So Nita, I do have compassion for both sides. Like I don't have compassion for Scully and Khadijah, but I do have compassion for Franklin, because Franklin's feeling that same sort of way. He's in this situation where he's looking at potentially having to give up his boy. For him, that's his brother, and he doesn't want to give him up. I mean, he's literally putting this entire organization and other people's lives at risk to save Leon, to keep from having to give up Leon. And you can see that the stories are running parallel with Reed having to, basically causing the death of his brother, and now he's pissed off because he's like, I had to sacrifice my brother for this game. You need to do the same thing instead of worrying about not giving him up, instead having all this heat on us from the police, And
Larry,
Larry, go ahead and give him up.
Larry, do you have a stopwatch?
Somewhere.
Pull it out. You got a minute tonight. I'm on a timeline. You have a minute to get your discussions out. A minute.
Let me get my stopwatch going.
You got to be creative, and if your stopwatch broke, mine ain't.
That's all right. I got it. I'm gonna get it cracking.
Okay. Now, Moochie, we want to get you in on the next part that's coming up. You ready?
Okay. What did I miss so far?
Oh, we just starting.
Yeah. Okay. So, I hate being late.
We talked.
It's all good.
We were about to talk about that. About Leon's trick. Who's trying to get in? Who's trying to find out who his plug is? I think that trick works. Oh, let me wait.
Yeah, man. Hold your horse.
Go ahead.
It's always on that horse. Look, I done told y'all what's in Larry's can is not soda. That's not soda in that man's can. I'm telling y'all. Here we go. But Moochie, this one is all for you. For me, I mentioned to everybody there was two characters that had an emotional pull on you this episode. One being Fatback, and the other being Wanda. Describe what was going through your emotions, your psyche when you saw Wanda detoxing. You saw Wanda in here looking at the baby of the lady next to her who basically was a crack baby. And then you saw Wanda throw food at this punk ass president we used to have who tried to do a war on basically Black people, but it was supposed to be in drugs. Give me your thoughts on this scene, Muchella.
She got a reality check with the baby.
She sure did.
You keep doing what you're doing, going down this road. This could be you. This could be you could bring a child into this. And it really woke her up. And as far as Reagan, you know, he had it out for us anyway. So I'm not even gonna get into that.
Yeah, we'll save it. Nita, what was your emotions, your thoughts on this scene?
I had the same sentiments about throwing that food at Reagan because, like I said, I had the same sentiments. That's why I questioned Larry on how he was like rationalizing Teddy's thoughts. And you know, when we in the episode last week, I ain't got no compassion. And then the only reason why it's so fresh is because I was re-watching our review right before it. And I was like, much compassion. Like I do have compassion because at the end of the day, we're not going to start at the middle. You have to start at the beginning. And Black people were trying to get a foothold. Black people, if you can make fast money, fast, you know, all that stuff. Okay, so I'm going back because I ain't getting no rebuttal for Larry. So let me go back to Wanda. So Wanda was so touching. I was a bit confused. Y'all saw me on Facebook. I was like, well, what, did she have a baby? Like, I didn't think she was pregnant, but they brought the baby all the way over. Like, see, look at her line of sight. The baby was on her side of the bed. I said, what?
The baby looked like it's in the middle. They put that there for a reason.
Okay. So
I'm looking at it as a nurse point of view. They already know that I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize. They already saw that Leon paid extra money to keep her there to get her clean. So they gonna help out.
Okay. Yeah, okay. And I guess that the nurses had to put her a little bit more over to the baby over to her side because the lady was going wild. Like she was just getting through her withdrawals and all that throwing up and all that, you know, she was just acting wild and stuff like that. So maybe for the safety of the baby, they just put the baby over a little bit more to her side because she wasn't going through that. She had already been through that point and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was, you know, I'm hoping and praying. The way it looks like she's gonna always have some temptation, and I feel like that might play into something with Man Boy. Like I know men prey on things of that nature. If they know you've been strung out, you done got clean, they can always dangle that over you to get you to do whatever they want you to do. So I feel like there might be something. I'm praying and hoping that she stays clean, but I don't know. I can't call it. But the only thing I can say is I feel like that she can be manipulated because their walk is so strong that, you know, whatever. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked it. I love seeing her get clean. I'm glad they didn't make it all roses and whatever they made it is painful as it had to be for the little montage that they did for it. So.
Larry, last thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, this just goes to prove that no good deed goes unpunished. Because as soon as Leon did the good deed of getting her in that hospital and saving her, what happened? Just all of a sudden his world blows up. Police are looking for him, everything else. But I will say this. I was very happy to see that when she got out, that she basically called and asked for help. She said, hey, I need you. I need your help. I don't have anybody else. And I'm going to slip. I know it. If I don't get some help, I'm going to slip. And even in that moment, even when Leon is out there, you know, hiding from the police, hiding from Scully, hiding from Man Boy, hiding from Khadijah, you know, not sure if he can trust Franklin. With all that, he still had the mindset to say, if you need somebody, I know where to send you. And, you know, and send her to a safe place. So, you know, I would not be surprised if those two found their way back to each other right before Leon got killed. You know,
right?
But,
and because it seems like she has so much, she has just tremendous admiration for Leon. She, you know, and he has admiration for her. He picks up the phone. He's trying to help her, even though he's not trying to let her come where he's at. Right. And the other thing about her story was once she got out the hospital, she went back to that community where she was sleeping outside. Then she had these random ass men hitting on her, and all that just smacked her in the face and was like, I need to call somebody I can trust that ain't gonna try to take advantage of me, which was Leon.
Right. You know what I would really like to see, and I doubt that he'll do it because he just won't be able to trust a crackhead, but I would really like to see Franklin send Leon and whatever her name is, it's just blanking on me.
Wanda.
Wanda. I would really like to see have him send those two out of town. So, you know, because he's expanding out, it would be nice if because Leon knows the game. So let him go out there and set up shop somewhere else and take Wanda with him. You know, as long as she can stay clean, it'll get them off the radar. They'll be out of town. You don't have to worry about, you know, Scully or Manboy trying to find him and kill him. You know.
Yeah, but Larry, what are you going to have her do? Let's say you do take her out of town. Are they going to still be hustling? If she's around that stuff and she's still in a vulnerable state, it could be dangerous. You might have to hustle something that won't be a temptation for her.
It could be. And the reason why I would think you would want to send her with them, because she, as far as I know, she has a clean record, whereas you can't send Leon out of town because he's not like he can go apply for an apartment and all that because, you know, the police are looking for him. So
that's true.
You know.
True.
So you get her out there to handle all the business, like getting an apartment and a car and all that, and have him handle the drug game. So, but I mean, I don't know. Personally, I think the more that I look at this, the more that I'm thinking. I was thinking that Leon would be okay, but now I'm thinking he might get taken out. But now I'm not sure that he is, because the way they set that up with what's his name, Reed, being upset with Franklin over not giving up Leon makes me think they can't give him up now, because that just destroys that storyline. Yeah, you know.
Here we go.
The only way it could work out is if the police really start coming down, if the heat really starts coming down hard because they're looking for Leon and they really want him, and then he might end up having to give him up. You know, I mean, Reed might tell him, you either give up your boy or I'm gonna find somebody else to replace you, because he already hinted to that. Well, he didn't hint to it; he directly said it.
All right, here we go. Next scene. We done got our boy Peaches back. He done picked the lock and showed off his talents for being able to get in places he don't need to be at, and he's all up in here with Franklin. They getting money, they getting coke. And then the next thing you know, they're leaving, and look who shows up. Officer Killjoy, the chocolate version, shows up to put the squeeze all up on Franklin and Peaches. And y'all knew the way they cut this scene, when he went to the trunk, I'm thinking to myself, man, it's got to be some drugs behind those speakers. But you know what? Officer Killjoy didn't have the gumption to check the speakers, but they still roughed up Franklin and Peaches pretty hard. Ladies and gentlemen on this show, you got to know Officer Killjoy is going to die, because he's got a major hard-on for Franklin, excuse me. So, Nita, we'll go to you first. Thoughts, feelings, emotions on this particular scene.
Y'all, I remember tweeting and Facebooking my reaction when the show went off last week. When that song came on, don't touch that stereo, don't touch that stereo. I love that song. I loved it, and then they kind of came back full circle, and they showed the stereo, and he still didn't touch it, and I loved it. That was all I thought about it. Like, that's what came to my mind. That's where I was. Okay.
Hey, well, we like when people think things like that. That gives entertainment value to these live streams. Larry, I'm gonna go to you next, and we're gonna finish with the mooch.
Yeah, you know, it was interesting. It was like when they grabbed Franklin, and put him up on there. Peaches was like, I don't give a damn if you're wearing a gun and a badge. He went after that cop, and the other dude grabbed him, but he still went after dude. Like, like that badge and gun doesn't protect you, But I mean, it was. Honestly, I don't think that detective was really looking for drugs. I think he just simply wanted him to give up Leon, and because I mean, this dude's not stupid. He knows there's drugs in that car. He probably knew there were drugs in those speakers, and I mean, he did such a weak cursory search. It was like he opened it up. Okay, I don't see anything, and was like, that's that. Because he wasn't there for Leon. He doesn't. I mean, I think he knows that Leon is protected on some level, and I mean, you go in there, you find a couple of keys, and he's probably going to end up with he'll probably end up getting the case tossed out, and then what? You have nothing. You're back to where you started at. So. Okay. I mean, that's the thing. When you go after street level dealers, it seems like they can throw all kinds of BS at them. But it seems like when they're going after the big boys, they have to really build cases the right way, because otherwise they just get tossed out. And I don't think this cop was dumb enough to think, I'm just going to pull him over, just ransack his car, and build and have a case that's going to lock him away forever.
Mooch.
That was just the warning. Like, I could rough you up anytime until you give me what I want. And as far as did y'all touch on Reed getting a phone call about his brother dying?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Remember, I brought them guys up last time we chatted, y'all, right?
Yes, you did, Moochie.
All right.
Yes, you did.
I'm doing my predictions on credit.
Yes, Moochie, we gave you credit for a lot of stuff you predicted, because look, anybody that show up to this review with a notebook this big, taking notes, you're going to get a lot of credit on this channel, damn it, because you're doing your homework. Now, we're going to move on to what Moochie, that we gave you credit for when you weren't here. We said that Moochie pegged this person as the real gangster on this show, and I'm talking about this bitch right here, Khadijah. Man, oh man, oh man.
Same shit.
Man, this is the boss right here. And in this scene, this was when we had our boy Scully seeming like he's having a reckoning, my people. It seems like Scully is turning around, like he might want to be done with the game. He's got a vigil up here for his daughter, but right beside that, he's got a crack cocaine pipe. I'm just like, damn, Scully, you couldn't put this vigil somewhere else, but I guess anyway. Man boy is sitting there, they're discussing, and Khadijah comes in there and says, what the hell y'all sorry ass motherfuckers doing? Where is Leon? And when they didn't give no answer, she stormed out and said she's gonna handle it herself. Larry, it's your turn to go first.
I mean, I think that what she did was
don't talk about what she did yet. Just stick to this particular scene.
All right. I mean, yes, it got you. We were able to see that she is the one running stuff up in there. She's running stuff with her boyfriend. She's running stuff with her brother. She runs it, and and even when she talked to Scully, and she was like, "I'm gonna need a lot of money, a lot, and I don't want to hear anything about it." And that was it. He just sort of looked at her like, he. I mean, it was sort of a look of it was fear, but not like the physical danger fear. It was sort of like the fear that you have when you just don't want that smoke. You just I don't want to deal with this.
Right? Ain't nobody want that smoke. You know what, Larry? I wouldn't even be her boyfriend no more at this point. I'd be out the door. The parachute would be ripped, gone. Nita, it's on you now.
If you break up with her, you have to go into witness protection.
You probably got to go to another country. So it's on you, Nita.
Okay, so yeah, exactly when this thing happened, I knew that, I already knew that Khadijah wore the pants. I could tell in the hospital. I could tell her reaction from everything.
Mm-hmm.
And, the whole thing with me is that I've actually seen that she has the ability to go further. I feel like Khadijah may be the future of Scully's operation.
Okay, I could see them seeds being planted. She done crossed the line. You killed her baby, even though it's really partly her fault. and now she done turned into a killer. She obviously knows the hustle. I can see them trying to transition her, or she could always be a thorn in Franklin's organization until they somehow never get to Leon. So now Moochie, I give it to you.
Nita, I think that I'm going to disagree with you and agree with you at the same time. I don't think she's the future of his organization. I think she might be currently running it.
Right, that too. But also too, if she's thinking ahead, she has an end with Manboy. Manboy is her brother. So if she takes Scully out, then she got her brother, and then all she gotta do, he trusts her. All she gotta do is take him out, and
I disagree.
Go for it, Moochie. Get on in there, Moochie.
She's the brains behind the whole thing, and she got Scully wrapped around his finger. All right.
But why wouldn't she be?
She got Scully. Scully's when she needs somebody to get crazy, that's the crazy one.
Oh yeah, you can buy soldiers. I mean, yeah, Scully is that one.
He's gonna be a soldier. She's the brains behind the operation now. As far as that side, I'm not talking about with Manboy. As far as that side, I told y'all she was wearing the pants.
You did.
That she has more checkers on the board. She has more chess pieces that she can move. So
she got a little. She's a little crazy, but she's a little crazy, but she thinks she's out thinking them all.
Right.
I don't think she is. The way that they did, and we haven't got to it yet, so I'm not going to mention it, but the way they did the story this episode, they presented as she's the smartest one, but what she did really made herself vulnerable, and everybody on her team very, very vulnerable because they know exactly where to go.
We think.
No, we know because when we get there, I'll explain my reason.
Yeah, we'll get on past that.
Okay, you saying they know where to go, but remember how they got that place like a fortress? They had that car in the front and all that other stuff. So
yeah, but they have to leave that place.
That with his crazy stuff.
So
I mean, they stay in the bottom, but they have to leave.
They are.
Here's a question somebody wants to know. Oops, wrong one. How did she know Manboy was looking for Franklin's plug?
There you go. That's what me and Nita was talking about last night.
Because that's her brother. He's probably talked about it.
I mean, that was a clue right there, y'all.
Okay.
It didn't show. I'm not gonna make no assumptions. They didn't show it on camera.
I mean, we see where the writers are trying to take us. I see it's just simple misdirection. They're trying to make it seem as if Franklin's gonna lose Reed and lose his plug because they're trying to set it up where Reed is mad at him. He's telling him you can be replaced. There are Manboys running around talking about he's trying to find the plug, all that stuff. They're trying to lead us down this path to make it seem like Franklin's gonna lose his plug, and I just think it's misdirection.
Okay, well we'll see. All right, this is a scene when we knew it was about to get raw. Oh man, Franklin goes in there and has to talk with Leon about somebody got to take this rap. And I don't want it to be you my guy. It's got to be your guy because he was there. It would fit the narrative. You got to give up Fatback. And in true fashion, Leon fought it for a few minutes. He didn't want to give up his boy, but eventually, after Franklin was like, look, we're going to cut his family some money. We're going to have 250 G's wait for him out of jail. Moochie, you get this one first. Was this what you thought it was going to be?
With them getting him out of jail as far as Fatback?
With them making Fatback take the rap.
Yeah, because I think that would have been, this was probably before the third strike thing. Well, he been in jail before. So if Leon go, he going for a long time.
Right. Okay. I feel you. Larry, thoughts on the plan?
I'm pretty sure that's the third strike thing.
Okay. Thoughts on them making Fatback take the bid?
I mean, I get what they were doing where they figured that they can get Fatback up out of there. You know, maybe they keep him out of jail altogether, but maybe they get him out in just a couple of years, and he's not in there for the murder, and the murder just sort of goes unsolved. I get their idea behind that, you know. But I mean, it still has the possibility of working out, because if they, I mean, obviously Fatback is dead now, but if they end up believing that it was the other guy in the car that actually killed the kid, and that guy's dead, and Fatback is dead now, I mean, if they have his statement, police departments want to close cases. It's easier for them to say, you know what, this other dude killed him and he's dead. Fatback gave us his testimony. He gave his statement. He's dead. Let's go ahead and just close this case out. And they might just close out because they don't want that open. They don't want that open case on the books. They can easily go to the public and say, here's what happened. This person killed him. That person's killed him. This person, came in and spoke, but he's dead now. Blah, blah, blah. And the case is closed. Everybody goes about their business, and they get to feel like the police department did their job. So, I mean, it might end up working out in the way that Franklin wanted, with the exception of the fact he still has to contend with Scully and Manboy and now Khadijah.
Right. Nita, thoughts on the execution of the plan to make Fatback the scapegoat?
You know what? I hate to say that it was a bad play, because it depends on whatever lens you're looking out of. Like for Franklin, it was the best play for him. For Leon, it was not the best play for him. He loved Fatback. It was like, man, we sandbox. But at the end of the day, when you sign up to be a soldier, that's what the fuck it is. It's a soldier. You're a soldier. And I'm glad that Fatback kind of took it on the chin or whatever. And he, like I said, I feel like they gave him a good deal, like taking care of his family, giving him a meal when he walk out. Like, I mean, everything was like gravy. However, they didn't think about rapists, child killers, and all of that stuff. You gonna have a hard time outside of life, outside of the jail, when you have those type of charges on you. I don't know what's going on with Zimmerman. I digress. But it's like the same thing what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, when you put those parameters, like, I didn't think he was gonna have a good time in jail, but Leon assured him that he was gonna be okay. And him coming out that damn police station and somebody talking about Fatback, come in. I'm gonna need somebody to get some sense in there.
Nita, don't jump the gun, man. You know that men think with the other head 85% of the time. So don't jump the gun. Let's just deal with getting Fatback in jail before we springing him out. Let's just slow. And I have to disagree with you, Nita. I think that Leon and Franklin both knew the risk. They didn't care what happened to Fatback because they given him a payment clause. They knew that he was going to go to jail. He could be at risk for getting beat up for shooting a kid. Even Fatback mentioned that. But I think Leon's just like you said. You a soldier. I need you to do this for me as part of my brigade, and this is just what you got to do. But we're going to make sure we take care of your family, and we're going to have your back. Honestly, I thought that he might. The look on his face. Where is that picture at? The look on his face when they was getting ready to leave right here. Part of me was thinking that he was going to get in there and tell on them, but he didn't. He was a good soldier.
Here's the thing. I think that part of the problem with Leon with this is that Fatback is to Leon what Leon is to Franklin. And Leon is literally watching Franklin take care of him, and at the same time he's not taking care of his dude.
Right.
He's giving his dude up instead of taking care of him. He's watching how you should roll. He's watching, and this is part of the reason why Franklin was always saying you're not ready to run your own thing, because Franklin is showing you, I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna go out on a limb and risk everything to take care of you. But Leon's not ready to do that yet. Because he's, I mean, when push came to shove, I mean, he gave his boy up.
He gave him up. Gave him up.
And Leon's not willing to. Leon's willing to. Franklin is willing to risk his plug to keep from having to give up Leon. You know?
Right. But you kind of got to look at it like this, Larry. Fatback was Leon's day one, and Leon was Franklin's day one. The only problem is the boss in that situation that Leon is in between is Franklin. That's the issue.
I hear you, but that's the thing is that Leon isn't ready to be a boss, even a minor boss, because he can't think his way out of that stuff. He could have said, "Hey, I'll turn myself in and try and fight this." I'm not
saying Leon is trying to be a boss. I'm saying that Leon can't compare his situation to Franklin's because Franklin is the one with the cash and the drugs, and you just the middleman. And like you about to eloquently break it down, he can't plan the way Franklin can. So I don't think that Leon, in a sense, can compare his day one to him being Franklin's day one because they're kind of in different spaces.
But that's what Leon is initially trying to do.
Right.
End of the season, we're trying to see him trying to initiate his independence from Franklin.
Oh, okay. Right.
So that's why that doesn't really match up right now where they are.
Okay.
Leon was making a good amount of money. He should have had an exit plan ready. He should have had a go bag. He should have had money set aside somewhere else in the event that he had to dip out quickly because he knew there was a possibility that might happen at some time. And when you know that's a possibility, what you don't do is store all the money that you need
in one place,
house, or in your own house. You need to find a third place that no one knows about that you can then go to, get your stuff, and then be gone.
They still young boys, so they don't have all of that.
Leon's a young boy.
Yes, they are.
Franklin's a young boy, and he's got all that.
Franklin got book smart.
He doesn't.
The other one is street smart.
Ain't got shit.
He didn't
fucking flailing. He ain't got shit.
Exactly.
He got the plug. That's all he got. And he only got it off his smarts. They recruit people based on how smart they are. They grab these people, but they don't have the street smart. So we're just from learning over the seasons is what we've been seeing.
Yeah, and Teddy taught him that. Teddy taught about doing the money overseas and the houses and stuff like that. Franklin didn't know all of that.
No shit.
Well, I'm thinking you see the way someone's moving and you like the way they move, then you copy the way they move. You don't just watch them and not do anything, especially when you have the opportunity. If you see Franklin buying property, you see Franklin stashing money away at different places, you need to follow suit and do the same thing.
He doesn't know about that other place. I don't think anybody knows about that other house that Franklin had.
They do. Leon was with him when they went to go get all that. He took Leon everywhere with him. He even took Leon to the
I never seen him at that house. I seen him when they got the first house and he gave it to the one that he killed in that one. He gave them keys, and that's when the other boy was putting the bug in his ear, talking about he want to keep us where we stay his workers.
Okay.
All right. Well, here's another nod to the fact that there's going to be a season 5. This expansion to Little Rock. And let's just kind of break this whole entire scene down. So it starts out Louis and everybody's favorite Uncle Rome. First of all, can we talk about Rome coming down there with a damn trench coat on, coming from LA going to Little Rock? What the hell he think he going to New York in December? He hops out the car in his trench coat. Louis meeting up with her friend. They introduce them to the family. Everybody wants to know how we're going to get this money. You get to see the baby daddy, who I felt like he had a lot of good questions in this story. And throughout this whole exchange with them, Louis is teaching the baby mama how to cook up cocaine. But can somebody tell me, you pregnant and you dip in cocaine? I just thought that was a little something, so a little weird. And then we move on. Uncle Rome is out here talking to the baby daddy. Baby daddy has a lot of smart questions. Did y'all pay attention to that baby daddy? He wants to know the risk. He wants to know about the violence. He had a lot of questions. And what Rome told him was you handle it by shooting. Now, when this brother starts shooting, ladies and gentlemen, dude looked like he was having sex. I mean, it looked like he was having an orgasm the way he was shooting that gun. I don't think that I would be trusting of this brother if I'm in a gunfight. I mean, he was just too happy to shoot the damn gun, just jacking all over the place like Derek Jackson. I don't know if I would trust that. And then this is the scene when he was asking, what are our risks? What the hell we dealing with? And they pan to Jerome, who's looking like, Louis, you gonna tell the truth? And Louis like, hell to the no, I can't tell them the truth, which we later understand why she didn't. Moochie, you get this one first. Break down this whole entire scene with Louis and Rome teaching her people about the game, lying to them about the risk. What you think is going to happen?
They didn't lie to them. They just left out some parts.
Right.
That's a lie. An omission of the truth. An omission of the truth in a court of law is a lie.
They didn't lie to them. They just left.
An omission of the truth is a lie, because if a man do it to y'all women, because here's a man's favorite statement.
No.
What she don't know can't hurt her. But damn, you hiding the truth from her.
Said.
You hiding the truth from her. And if y'all find that truth out, y'all chicks become like the FBI. Y'all know how to raid phones. Y'all know how to get in cars that don't have locks. Y'all become the FBI, the CIA, and every alphabet the government has. An omission of the truth is a lie.
All right, they gave them the 10 crack commandments.
Oh my God.
They gonna listen.
Oh my God. Larry, take this thing, Larry. Man, I can't with these women. I can't, Larry. Larry, it's your
all
turn.
I could hear was Biggie song in my ear when they was giving them the rules, the 10 crack commandments.
I'll tell you what they need. I'm telling you. You don't know if that's how it's going to pan out in the country the way it is in the city. You know what I'm saying? Like LA is a city. Like city life is way different than suburban life.
That's true, but look, check this out, nigga. Little Rock is way smaller than LA. It is, but it's not a small. Little Rock is probably like a Greensboro type size city.
I still think that other one gonna be a problem. The freeloading brother.
That this guy right here.
That one right there. That mofo right there. He gonna be a problem.
He looks like perfect kill bait. That's what he looked like.
He look like a crackhead. Look at him.
I think he's gonna be strung out. But I'll tell you, the first thing that struck me about this scene, the first thing that struck me about this whole scene was when Jerome got out there. I was like, when did Jerome get all bougie? I was like, he was up there with his nose all turned up at them folks, like, what are we doing here? And I'm not sleeping in this place. And he just turned his nose up like he was just snooty. I was like, when did you get all bougie, Jerome?
You live off the life, but you don't want to do the life. That's what I got from that.
No, but see, Rome has done the life. Rome lived like that and worked his way up for the last 3 seasons.
I'll tell you what I did not like about this scene.
He want a nice, quiet life, and he feel like we doing too much now.
I'm laughing at Nita, man. Nita and that hair. God, I'll tell you
the thing that was really interesting about this scene was that they really did a good job of showing us who Louis is. Because they talked about, the husband of her friend or cousin, or really said, "Oh, you need to be careful of her. She's the one that used to get you in all that trouble." And so that she was already that chick for her. And then on top of that, she really said some real slick shit to Jerome when he was trying to warn him away, saying, "Hey, this is you dropping napalm." And she said, "Not everybody that gets in this game starts dropping bodies." And I'm like, damn, that's jacked up. You know how Jerome felt about that, about having to kill that dude. He wasn't happy about that.
Nope.
I was like, and you're gonna gut punch him with that? That was low, but to me, that was a low blow. I lost a little love for Louis on that one.
Don't lose love for the Louis.
Because I love her on that one.
Because at the end, Louis explained to you, and we're gonna get to that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna save it because I'm gonna see if you get your love back when Louis explained why she had to go the way she went, why she basically had to lie.
not.
Oh, you ain't get your love back.
Spoiler alert.
Okay.
I started off at the end of the episode. He's not
God almighty. I can't with y'all women, man. But let's move it right along. Just move it right along. Y'all, boy, y'all is trouble. Okay, so here we go right here with this scene right here. Teddy confronts Franklin and he mad as hell because instead of giving up Leon, they gave up Fatback. And all while Teddy and Franklin's having this discussion. Muchella, I'm gonna go to you first. Who was back there writing and drawing everything?
Tanasa was back there, ill hustling the whole convo.
Yeah. Do you hear me? Ears like Dumbo. She was back there all
I was
up.
like, why is it? And you know why that happened? Because Teddy was drunk. And he's still on his emotions because his father told him a new one about how the brother died.
Yeah, his father did tell him a new. He told him a good new one too. Nita, what was your thoughts on Teddy and Franklin's conversation?
I think he was projecting. He was projecting his feelings that his father did to him, and he's pretty much putting it on to, because for the most part, I thought they had a solid deal.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that in the middle of it he'd be like this. Everybody is replaceable. I was like, oh, but at the same time, I'm thinking he's drinking, and that is what comes. And he's not saying no lies. Everyone is replaceable. I have a job. When I'm no longer there to do the job, I am replaceable. Somebody will replace me. That is a fact. And I just felt like maybe we just need to reintroduce that notion, because maybe he thought Franklin was resting too far in him being assured that he's, I don't know, maybe Franklin thought he was a part of the CIA. I don't know. Yeah.
Larry, take the ball, man. Take the ball, Larry. Take the ball.
I mean, this thing was, I mean, this just goes back to the whole thing with Teddy basically letting Franklin know, look, there's sacrifices that have to be made in this game. Everybody makes them. I gave up my own brother. You don't get to hold on to yours. You don't get to hold on to you and yours when I'm giving up mine. I'm giving up mine for this game. Don't expect it. I'm going to sit back and let you, monkey wrench our deal because you want to hold on to you and yours. If your boy needs to get sacrificed for this thing, for this truck to keep on rolling down the highway, then he's going to get sacrificed. And I think Franklin should probably get Leon up out of there, because I think if the pressure keeps coming from the police, I think Teddy might give him up. Teddy might be like, look, either you give your man and them up, or I'm going to give them up, because this truck is going to keep on rolling.
Is Teddy in position to give up Franklin when Franklin has dirt on Teddy?
I mean, it's mutual assured destruction. So I mean, if he's not going to give up Franklin, he's just going to go give up Leon. I mean, it would not take but a phone call for Teddy to call up and be like, "Here's the dude that killed him, and here's where he's at. Go get him." Mm-hmm. And then he's done within a matter of an hour. He's Leon is picked up and paraded, doing a perp walk on TV.
Damn, boy. Go ahead.
I feel like that Larry is always operating in 2021. I feel like there's a lot of gray area, and you cannot make the same exceptions in 2020. This is like 40 years later. We're talking about the 80s, and I feel like a lot of the logic that you're coming with, it comes from knowing better. You know better, you do better. But I feel like at that time, that's not how it worked. You know what I'm saying? Does anybody understand what I'm saying?
I hear you. I hear you, but I think that some of the principles of this thing are the same regardless of time. I think it has been that way. There are certain principles that have been the same regardless of it has been, 2,000 years ago or today. I think that some things have always been the way they are. And I think that when it comes down to it, if you're looking at, it's like when people go to war, you don't get to sit there and huddle over your brother while somebody else's brother's dying. Everybody's brother's at risk, so you have to keep your mind and focus on the main goal.
Give me one more. I'm going to rebut that. We are talking about Black people against the government and white people. I'm not talking about the Norse mythology and all that stuff.
I think you also missing the part about him coming from a Black Panther family also, where he's seen what happened to the other relative that the father told the story about. So he's gonna try to protect him. He don't want to do the same thing his father did.
Well, here's the thing.
The reality is, push comes to shove. If he has to give up Leon in order to keep his plug, Leon's getting given. Leon's getting got.
That's
right.
What
it is.
I was gonna say next week.
That's what it is.
Right.
He's gonna try and protect Leon as long as he can protect Leon and the business. He's willing to put his business at risk, but he's not willing to give it up.
Right.
I mean, there's a difference between putting something at risk and giving it up. If Reed says give up your mans in them or we're done, I mean, Leon's got to go. He may tell Leon, I'm gonna try and make you comfortable. I'll keep money on your books, or I'll make sure that your peoples are taken care of. But you got to go.
All right, people. Here we go. We're getting into the nitty gritty now, man. We're getting into the part that's going to pull some people's heartstrings. So we have what some would say is a debate between Uncle Rome and Louis. And basically, Uncle Rome, he's not feeling the way Louis is keeping these people in the dark about a part of what this drug life is going to entail. You see right here on the caption, you about to drop napalm on these people. And Louis, basically is like, what, we got to do what we got to do. And Uncle Rome is so frustrated. He leaves a place he didn't want to be at in the first place. He left the country ass crib and decided to go stay at the Ritz-Carlton with his $500 black chinchilla. I'm going to give it to you first, Moochie. Thoughts on this conversation between Rome and Louis? Because we've never really, we've seen them disagree. But it seemed like tension was really, really high right now, to the point this man left his girl.
Because he sees the destruction that's about to come.
Mm-hmm.
He's witnessed how LA's changed. Because like I said, he had his nice. He already knew from the beginning that cocaine was like the wheeling and dealing. And a lot of gun, I won't say gunplay, but a lot of violence involved.
Right.
So he feels like you setting these country people up, and they don't even know what they're about to get into.
Neither the diva. Thoughts, Louis and Jerome.
Okay, I mean, if you turn it on its head, it's almost the same as how the CIA has invaded Franklin and his crew and all that stuff. And she is the CIA and he is Franklin. And they kind of like, we're like, you can't tell everybody what the danger is. You just got to pick a person that you think is capable of handling it and see how it goes. When it's business, it's business. That's what it is. And the fact that lady put that coke in her mouth while she had a whole 9-month baby in her, that told me what it was.
Told me something too.
I felt bad at the end of the day. Like, but like I said, there's an unknown factor with being in the suburbs and being in the country where it's not city life and gangs can kind of form and something like that. So maybe there will be a saving grace in that. Like they renewed it for season 5. Maybe it's going to go on. with not so much the LA drama and the LA games and all that stuff. Maybe it will go on to, well, we already know it went on because it did all up and through the United States. They set Black people up. The Black community, they set us up. Basically, that's what it was. And you know, you got to look at it from one point of it being business and one point of it being, you know, damn, that's my community. And what do most people think about? They think about their goddamn selves. They don't think about the community as a whole. And that's just what it is.
But think about their own family first. Then what can I do for the community that I'm sharing my wealth or my space with? Before I give it to you, Larry, let me just say this. If you didn't watch my review that I did for them renewing season 5 of Snowfall, go check out my predictions. I'm predicting that they're going to move this show somewhere else. And you guys are giving some great comments. Someone is saying maybe Leon had to be moved to Little Rock. We'll see. Some of us think Leon is going to kick the bucket, which is where I'm going to give it to you, Larry. Your thoughts on the conversation in the bedroom between Louis and Uncle Rome?
I think this is the beginning of the end for those two.
What?
Yeah. I think Jerome is seeing something inside of her that he doesn't like at all. I think what he's seeing, because this is supposed to be her cousin, her road dog. This is supposed to be someone that she cares and loves, someone who loves her and looks up to her. And like he said, you're dropping napalm on these people. Don't come in here and act like you're doing them a favor. You know, you're coming in here and you're dropping this thing on these people, and you know exactly what you're doing. They don't know what they're getting into, but you know what you're doing. And you know, and the whole thing with just, you know, this idea, oh, we thought we were protecting you because everybody knew about Reed except for me and Leon. You know, I think she felt some sort of way and had her head resting on his shoulders, and you didn't see him leaning back into her. He wasn't leaning into her in that moment. He was feeling some sort of way about it, and not just because she didn't tell him, but because I think it was she didn't tell him, and he's seeing her true nature. She's gangster. This whole season really has been about the women. It's been about these gangster ass women, with Louis, you know, being the way she is, with what's her name, Tenoshi, whatever her name is, the one that Franklin's sleeping with. I think she works for Man Boy. You know, we see the storyline with Khadijah, and then we see the storyline with the newspaper reporter. It's all about the women this season. And I think Rome is, I mean, I'm not saying he's just going to dump her and he's just going to be out right now, but I think this is like the very beginning of the end. I think he's starting to see who she is, and he's starting to emotionally disconnect. Like he doesn't like what he sees.
I disagree.
Okay, go ahead.
I disagree because I said this before. If something happens to Louis, Jerome you're gonna see a side of him that you ain't never seen before, because he really loved that woman.
Yes.
And I think he's the type of person that don't like to get taken to that place.
Well, Moochie, let me rebuttal by saying this. We already know something's going to happen to her because of the damn trailer.
Yeah.
So could it be
before?
Could it be that they have a split or a fracturing before that incident, and that incident when she's in the hospital bed is what brings them back together and flip the switch on him? It could be both.
I can see that happening.
I mean, but here's the thing too. I mean, Jerome is seeing all kinds of stuff. Like, for one, that comment that she made to him about not everybody that gets in this game dropped bodies. What he saw in that moment was, oh, this chick is a snake, and if I just get too close to her or let her get too close to me, she will bite me. Because she knew how he felt about that. He did not want to be one of those people running around dropping bodies. He does not like the gunplay. He will do it, but he doesn't like it. And it messed with his head when he did it. And for her to just throw that out there, she knew what she was doing. And I think he realized in that moment, oh, she's willing to hurt me. And then she's willing to hurt anybody else around her too, even her friends or her family. She's willing to hurt anybody. I think he's seen her true nature at this point. And people, you can love people who are bad for you. I'm not saying that he doesn't love her, he wouldn't go to bat for her, but that doesn't mean that she's good for him. And I think he's starting to recognize that. And that's why I think it's the beginning of the end. And I know the women on this panel probably don't want to hear that, but the reality of it is sometimes men check out, and by the time you realize it, dude's gone.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I'm going on this subject to the next one.
I think Nita had something she wanted to say.
Oh, my bad. What you want to say, Nita?
You try to keep it on track. I'm good.
Okay. All right. When I first saw this, I'm thinking to myself, damn, Khadijah cooking crack with bleach? Who's she about to serve that to? Scully ain't going to be feeling that. You ain't cooking crack with bleach. What in the world? Then Scully walks in. You know, she's pouring peroxide, some other chemicals, and he was like, damn, it stink. And I was like, okay, she ain't giving that to nobody for no pleasure purposes. And then she says to him, look, I'm gonna need some money. Don't you bet not say nothing. And his ass, like a little homeless, helpless puppy, just and walked away and say nothing. She got the money. Next thing we know, we see Fatback standing outside the jailhouse. We see this thing right here. Now, fellas, let me tell y'all something. Bill DeVoe tried to tell y'all, never trust a big butt and a smile unless you already know him. Bill DeVoe tried to tell y'all that back when I was 10 years old, but ain't nobody listening. Fatback hops in this car.
No.
He hops in the car. They drug him. And we're going to end it right there. We ain't going to talk about the killing scene yet. But Larry, go first on this one. What was you thinking when you saw her mixing this brew to the point where you saw Fatback get in this car and get abducted?
Yeah, this is the scene I was saying I would touch on later. I think that what she did, I obviously what she did was clever, you know, to go and get Fatback out of jail to bail him out. But at the same time, it was dumb because her fingerprints are all over it. Because when you go ahead and you bail someone out, there's paperwork to be filled out, even if you're paying in cash. The courts require that someone has a name on that paperwork, and so they're gonna know that it was. They're gonna know who it came from.
So
they're gonna know it came from
this,
people.
You don't think that this chick did the paperwork, and you don't think she's willing to take a bid for Scully and Khadijah? Because
it doesn't matter if she's willing to take a bid. It's a matter of people finding out who did it. Like, they're gonna know, okay, we know exactly who did it. Okay, it was Khadijah's girl who bailed him out. We know that it came from that it was Khadijah and Scully who did this. Okay, we know that it was Manboy who did this. Or maybe we know it was somebody else. It's gonna be an easy way to lead them back to exactly who did this. Now, the police may not care because the police are going to be like, this is just a kid killer, so they're not going to care. But all the paperwork is going to lead them right back to who did this. And if Franklin goes to Reed and says, hey, I want to know who bailed him out, you don't think Reed's going to get that information for him? Every time Franklin goes to Reed for info, Reed comes back in like 2 days and says, what's what?
Mm-hmm. Nita, I give it to you.
Can't find out who bailed someone out?
Floor is yours, Nita.
Okay, basically, I'm going back on my convictions about Larry still dabbling in 2021. I believe in the 1980s that they didn't give a fuck about who black child was dead, who was whatever. They're dead, and it's another person off their list that they got to worry about. And I don't think if they got somebody to blame for it, then that's where it starts and where it ends. That's what I think about this whole thing and them trying to draw it out. I don't think it's going to be drawn out. They didn't give a fuck. They was trying to like get all the black people. They was trying to kill them. Like, they didn't want us out here and like surviving, and that's not what it was. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if they had an opportunity to sweep shit under the rug, we got somebody for it. That's what it was. However, I'm about to roll it back to Khadijah and her making this potion. Girl, I thought that she was trying to cook up a different form of rock, because I think that's what Manboy is trying to do. So I'm thinking that she's trying to find different things, but we come to find out that she actually was trying to do like the go to sleep thing, like to do something else. And I thought she was trying to cook rock, and I thought, no, like she about to kill everybody. She putting bleach in that shit.
I'm like,
Yo,
putting bleach
I was
in
doing the same thing.
Like, who you serving this up to? Putting bleach all up in there.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it, Mooch.
I thought she was cooking up a bad batch of crack so she could make the block hot, so everybody, so they, that area where Leon be, where the cops go over there. That's what I was thinking at first. But then when she asked for the money, I was like, oh, okay, I see where she going with this. And Larry, I'm gonna beg to differ with you with the them tracing the bailout to her. If she went through a bail bondsman, they not finding out who did it. Because the bail, if she goes through that, they not finding out that.
They are. There's gonna be names on that paperwork.
Because you like Nita said, you in today's time.
I'm thinking about back then. I'm thinking about all the times that Franklin went to Reed and needed information, and Reed was able to get it for him. Right now, we already know that Franklin knows that somebody else bailed out, Fatback. So you don't think that Franklin can go to Reed and say, "Hey, I need you to find out who bailed out Fatback"? You don't think he's going to be able to go find that information from the bail bondsman?
No.
You could put down a bogus thing for that. Back then, you didn't have to show where that money came from.
You know how we can
show where the money come from if you.
I'm gonna tell y'all how we're gonna solve this. You know how we're gonna solve it? We're gonna see what happened next episode. So we're gonna move right on along to the next subject, which I think we can all be in agreement on this one. And this one just, Lord have mercy. It just, I mean, is every man thinking with their penis nowadays? That ain't changed since the 1980s. You can say that 1980. You can say that 2021.
I don't understand why he left with that girl.
You know why he left with that girl, Moochie? Don't trust a big butt and a smile. What he thought that Franklin and them
getting booty like that, and he was getting money before he got locked up. What makes him think he was gonna get booty like that now?
He thought Franklin.
And the block is high.
He thought Franklin and Leon sent that for him because he's doing them a favor.
Oh, so you thought it was a parting gift? So here's your parting gift.
Yeah, you're gonna give me a little something since I done this for you.
So booty and a threesome.
Yeah. See, you took too many notes. So here we go with this chick right here. Boy, she done opened up that Venus flytrap and she done got her a big fly now. Look at that fly in between her legs. Boy. So in this scene right here, Franklin is basically making love to the snitch. Tattletale Tanase is what I'm gonna call her from now on. Tattletale Tanase. And in the midst of them doing their little thing, he gets a phone call. But before he gets that phone call, she wants to know, and let me look with the eyes she looked at him with. So who is that white guy in the club that was bothering you? And Franklin didn't really say. He kind of gave her a little PC answer, whatever. But when Franklin got up to make that phone call, guess what she got in her hand looking down at?
That is damn people.
Got his pager, and on the other side of that phone call was the lawyer letting Franklin know that someone had bailed out Fatback, and Franklin's like, it wasn't me, and the lawyer's like, I haven't gotten there with the money. Larry, I give this one to you first. Thoughts on this scene with Tanase and Frank finding out about Fatback getting bailed out?
Yeah, I mean, I think I said before a long time ago, I think that she's dirty and that she, you know, her timing was not coincidental, meeting up with Franklin. And I was a little unclear on whether or not she was working for Manboy or if she was a Fed. But the way that I see things going down this season, the way the storylines that they keep, the theme that they're playing out, where you have these women that are sort of the ones that are in control of things behind the scenes. They're using people. These people are using women to get access to the men. I think she probably works for Khadijah, and
Khadijah?
this whole idea of getting the plug that Manboy wants, I think is probably has Khadijah's mind behind that, and I think she put this woman there in order to get with Franklin, because when all that stuff went down and she was trying to get some, I forgot what happened when she was trying to get some information, and she said, "Oh, I think I might know. Let me." Or they were trying to find out if Scully was still alive, and she said, "Oh, I know someone who could probably find out. Let me call my homegirl." And
you know, Larry, I think it's this chick. It could
Huh?
be this chick. This could be the chick that's her homegirl, the one that went up there and bailed out your boy, bailed out Fatback.
I was thinking it was Khadijah. I was thinking she called Khadijah.
No,
I think she might work for Khadijah.
I'm thinking she's probably friends with a friend of Khadijah, somehow, some way. You know, we'll see. Nita, we give it to you now. Thoughts on old Venus flytrap tattletale Tanase?
I don't know. I think a friend of a friend of Khadijah doesn't work for me. I feel like these girls are connected to Khadijah personally. And like I said earlier, I feel like that Khadijah has the upper hand and the gall to actually be the top dog. Because not the top dog in the sense of like, okay, there's no other people top dog. I'm just saying, I feel like that she is the link that can go between Manboy and Scully and take them both out, and then you ain't got no choice but to deal with me. So I feel like she's playing that, but at the same time, I don't think her child was dead at that point. Her child didn't die before Tinashe came into the picture, and that's the only reason why I'm thinking that she might be an op, like Fed or something like that. But at the same time, I do see the power structure with the women trying to do some things, and don't really know how it's gonna pan out. But that's just my take. That you know, she made, because like I said, like y'all said, we had this girl. Who was this girl? Moochie, I know you know who that girl was. Who was she? Did we ever see her in the show prior to her?
Who, Tanasa?
No. Picking up Fatback.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go back. Do you remember when the one that they put on the cross? How they got him?
Oh yeah.
They used the girl.
Oh, and it was this chick.
They've been doing that all season. That's why I'm
going with right now. My gut, I'm thinking it's Manboy and the sister working together.
Okay.
And I think, because remember at one time he was saying she wasn't with Scully anymore.
Right.
I think Manboy sent her back in to get him under control. Well, and it went sideways when the whole shooting happened.
Okay.
And as far as her, I told you she been writing down them beeper numbers. Remember when I told y'all and I told y'all she probably got a little book like this, writing down the numbers when she's calling them and seeing what's going on. I gave my analogy on that weeks ago.
Yeah, you did. So and Larry. And Larry both.
I think no, he was talking about sky pages. You know, he went far ahead again. But look, I'm telling you.
Nah, Sky Pager had the regular joint. You were thinking of Sky Pager also had the two ways, but I was thinking just the regular Sky Pager, just the regular beep joints.
People still had rotary phones in their house at this time. You ever try to call somebody back from a damn rotary? You be like trying to dial a number real fast. I'm just saying, but I think he's not thinking, and he didn't want to tell her, but he's thinking with the wrong head. And not for nothing, when some of y'all, let one off, y'all know y'all go deaf and blind for 3 seconds. So I'm just saying, he is not thinking with the big head.
Anybody catch that he might have thought something else about it? I felt like he might have had like a small little glimpse of something might not be right. Did y'all catch that?
Yeah, because it was too late. He let it slip out.
Well, he didn't really tell her much.
Somebody I do business with. That's all he said.
That's all he said.
She could have.
That's the only white boy coming in there besides the school friend.
Right. So he didn't tell her anything because when all he said was that's just somebody I do business with, she knew that when she saw him in the club because he knew. I mean, otherwise, why would the dude be in there talking reckless with them like that about business and if they're not business?
Now, do you remember when he was talking about Man Boy and he said he's so and so from how he talked about him from knowing him from school?
Mm-hmm.
They all went to school together. Him, Tanasa, and the Tanasa brother, because he asked about the brother, and Man Boy.
But here's the thing that doesn't make any sense to me. In the first part of this series, and you guys could say I'm just going thinking of 2021 style. I don't think I am. But in the beginning of this series, Franklin was always very careful about stuff. He thought through things. He did background checks on people. I don't understand why he didn't have either Reed or one of the cops that he has on his payroll do a background check on this woman and find out who she is.
You know why he didn't? Because he knew her from high school. They went to school together. Because he mentions it when he first started seeing her again, when he saw her at that party. And that's when the other girl was still in the picture.
I mean, to me, I'm thinking to myself, so what?
Right, but he ain't. That's the problem.
And let me
connect the dots for y'all. So in this episode, and I think everybody is right. In this episode earlier, they mentioned Khadijah knows that Man Boy is looking for a plug, correct?
Right.
We're saying that this Tanase chick is connected to one of Khadijah's friends, which could be this chick, and Tanase grabbed that pager to go through it, and I'm sure by now she certainly has got Teddy's number. She could be the person that puts Man Boy on to the plug, which is Teddy. I'm just saying.
Did Teddy ever text that pager? Did they ever set that up?
Teddy's texted that pager before.
Okay. But I don't think he's ever texted him from like his work phone. I don't think he's ever hit him up from the warehouse. I think he always texts him from a payphone.
Okay.
Oh, well, I mean,
they set it up some kind of way. If they want to take it there,
they might take it there. Okay, y'all. Now this is the sad emotional part. So I have 2 clips for y'all to watch on this part. If you missed it the first time, this was the most gruesome part of this show last night, and we're gonna take a look at it because it's time to break this whole thing down. Get your bags ready if you're queasy.
Where's Leon? Where's Leon?
Oh, fuck, I told you.
He's playing with you. Where the fuck is he?
Ah, shit.
Where is he?
I swear to God, I don't know shit. I don't know where the nigga is. Just stall the nigga out. I don't know. Just get the fuck off me.
Say a prayer.
The girl was throwing up in the back.
I know, right? You saw her little weak ass back there throwing up. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is only fair that in the gruesome way that our boy Fatback was killed, that we give him a tribute to say goodbye to Snowfall, and here it is.
nice touch, Lamont.
Po Fatback. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna give this to my homegirl Moochie first. Moochie, break down this death scene from the fact that she burned him first. You see his head sizzling. Then this chick in the face, and she acting like she tough, but when Khadijah started cutting, she started throwing up. And then we get to this right here. Look at Khadijah. Oh my goodness. Moochie, break it down.
She got some of that crazy from her man.
Right.
I think she crazier than him without the drugs.
Yeah. She's crazy, but she has a little bit more control.
I think Scully does those drugs so he can cope with dealing with her.
Hey, you ain't said nothing slick on that one, partner. You're damn right.
You know,
Nita, your turn.
Boy, that was gruesome. It was gruesome. And like I said, I don't think that she was dragging the knife through her and through him. I think it was just her just trying to get through the mass of the man that it was. Like she was like, Ugh! And just to get that knife back up out to do it again, you know, I just felt like that's what that was. And that was some really good effects. Like to even think that's how the scene needed to play out, because at the same time, if you're like and whatever, you know, it don't take that much. You're like, yeah. But because, you know, man, you know, it was bad. It was terrible. I felt so bad. And, well, we didn't get there yet. So, okay.
Larry, the Justice League could have used this chick. Speak on this situation. I mean, damn, she could have took Wonder Woman place.
Yeah, she did her worst, but can we all recognize and give props to Fatback for staying loyal to the very end? Dude was a hardcore soldier. He gave up nothing.
He did.
Dude was getting burned, stabbed up, carved up. She was literally carving steaks out of him, and dude gave up nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, there you go. Talk about a loyal soldier right there. I mean, I honestly hope that they do his family right, because dude was 100 the whole time.
And that's why I had to give him a tribute, my people. He stayed loyal the whole time, even through the death. And so, rest in peace, Fatback. Snowfall, episode 6, season 4. Now, Larry, I'm gonna go back to you for this one. Talk about this exchange between Teddy and CIA boy here, wanting to help Teddy, and Teddy trying to keep him at a puncher's distance. What's up?
He probably didn't want to get him too close because Teddy was stinking like alcohol. He was trying to say he was sick when he knew he was just hung over because he was drunk, you know? And so I think dude really cares about Teddy, probably because he understood. I think this dude used to work undercover, and I think he knows that you can only be undercover for so long before it really just takes a toll on your mental health. And I think he recognizes that, and he knows that he just lost his brother. And I think this dude, had dealt with Teddy's brother when he was flying. And
yeah, he was. You know, he had. Yep.
And so I think he was, he understood what Teddy was going through when he popped up. And so, I mean, I give the dude his respect for coming through and being a human being. And, at the same time, Teddy recognized that even though this guy may be coming here with genuine condolences, at the same time, he's still likely monitoring me and seeing, okay, how am I behaving? What am I acting like? Am I holding up okay? Because he may be worried that, if the guy recognizes that he's falling apart, he may have to go back and put that in his report. And the CIA may say, hey, wait a minute. It doesn't look like you're doing well. We might have to pull you out, or we might have to replace you, whatever, or give you someone else in there to work alongside with you. And Teddy didn't want that. So Teddy just kept his distance. I'm sick. So he couldn't smell the alcohol on him, but I mean, it's just one of those scenes that lets us, that they want to seem like to remind us that, yes, Teddy's doing his thing. He's the man when it comes to dealing with Franklin and everybody else, but he still has people above him. He still works for the government, and he still answers to someone else.
Mm-hmm. All right, Moochie, thoughts on this scene? Teddy and CIA man.
after what his baby mother did, he doesn't trust anybody else in the CIA.
I can see that.
So he just wants to keep everybody at an arm's distance. Plus, he was drunk.
Mm-hmm. Right. I feel you. Well, we have lost Nita the Diva for a second, so we'll bring her back in on the very next subject that we're going to cover, which was this, man. This was, I mean, they was going in with this right here. So,
you know, Lamont, people are saying that it would have been more merciful to shoot him in the head, but it was a mother's rage. Honestly, I don't think that had anything to do with the mother's rage. I mean, not to say that she wasn't raging, but I think that's who she is. I think she's crazy as hell. I think if you deal with someone like Scully who's crazy, the only way you deal with someone like him and can run Scully is because you are crazier than Scully. I think that's just who she is. She's just a psychopath. And I think that she may have that her child being killed may have given her the motivation. But I think that if push came to shove, if it was just something where she needed to make a point, she would have done the same thing, you know, because she's crazy.
Next thing we find Fatback drug to the outside of Franklin's spot, and following that, it ensues this scene right here where Leon runs up on Franklin, beat his chest, and Franklin does nothing in true Franklin form. I just wish he'd man up a little bit. Muchella, I'm gonna give it to you first. Thoughts on this scene right here?
We're gonna go back to. I want to know how them two girls got that dead weight to the steps like that.
They probably
carried that damn body.
They probably had some homeboys come help pick up his body. You know. They probably clued in Man Boy and Scully after the fact, and they sent some of their hitters to go drag his body up there.
Okay.
But I mean, the way Khadijah was swinging that knife to get through them layers of meat, I wouldn't doubt if she had the strength in that moment to pick his ass up and throw him in the trunk. You know?
Of a stripper, the strength of a crackhead, like that is that type of strength. You garner that from your ancestors, the people who are in and who got that strength. The strippers fight to the death. Crackheads, they may try to fight to the death, but they got it from somewhere.
Yeah, she ate that fruit in Wakanda. All of a sudden, she took a big bite of that leaf.
She ate the herb, huh?
Yeah, she hit some of that herb, and then she went in. So, Larry, your thoughts on them dropping off the body at Franklin's doorstep, and then Leon going in on Frank?
You know, I know that you were saying that you wish he would do something. I think that Franklin did do something in that moment. What he did was remain calm. He was the rock that Leon needed in that moment, because Leon was losing his ish. He's up there throwing chairs and flipping over tables and stuff. And Franklin knew the grief that he was dealing with. And Franklin knew in part that it was partially his fault, and it was his plan that went bad. And I think in that moment, Leon didn't need another person flipping out and being angry. He needed that rock, and that's what he gave him. And it was so cool and calculated, because at one point when he got up there and he said something, he thumped on Leon's chest, on Franklin's chest, and Peaches said something to him, and Leon pushed him back and said, "F you, you bitch ass nigga." And Peaches was about to step to him, and Franklin just like real slyly just put his fingers up, just like, no, let it be. And just, that's all it took for Peaches is to back off. It was so cool and calculated. And I think that's what he needed at that moment, because right after that, he calmed down, No,
I don't know. Frank done got punked too many times throughout 4 seasons. At some point,
I don't think that's being punked. I think that's showing how powerful that you are. That you don't need to respond to your craziness. I don't need to punch you. I don't need to respond to you thumping on my, like that whole thing when he just did that to Peaches. Just no, don't hit him. Don't bother with
Larry,
him.
You can say whatever the hell you want to say. At some point in time, you need to tell your subordinates, sit your damn ass down and get out of my face. You can go have your temper tantrum in the room. We both in this mess. Get out my face. I asked you to do what I need you to do. Sit down somewhere and chill out. That's what Franklin can do. Franklin got just sit there
he's been that way before. He has said those things before. He has put his foot down before, but that wasn't the moment for him to do that.
That was a moment he should have done it too. I mean,
damn,
man.
That was the moment for him to be strong and to be. It's like
you can be strong without putting your hands on someone. You can raise your voice. You can change octaves. You can let somebody know. You can let somebody know I'm not to be messed with either right now. Get out my face. And you can do that.
I think it's a much stronger response when instead of raising your voice or getting angry or physical, simply just put your fingers up and just be like, stop.
Well,
or if that's all it takes, just simply to say that's okay, that's enough. Because
ain't you the same guy, Larry? Ain't you the same guy that told me when black folks peaceful protests, we don't get nothing done?
Those are two different things. We're talking about two different things.
How are we talking about two different things?
Because if black people simply had the power to just raise a finger and basically cause all kinds of ruckus to the system, then I would say, yeah, we should just be quiet and calmly raise that finger and cause ruckus to the system. But we don't have that kind of power. That was one of the reasons. Like if you look at that scene with Malcolm X, I think it was in Malcolm X when he was out there with all the FOI guys, and he just and they're out there, and he just raises his hand up, and all of them snap to attention, and then they start to leave, and that guy says that's way too much power for one man to have, because Malcolm X didn't need to go out there and scream and shout and tell his guys to start throwing punches, because he showed that what he had real power, that all it took was the raise of a finger to get something cracking. And that's what Leon did in that moment. He just had to raise his finger to say, look, all it takes is for me to raise my finger to get this thing cracking, and I'm not doing it.
No, well, I still disagree. You can say that all you want to. Sometimes you got to let somebody know who the boss is before they start getting out of line. But go ahead, Mooch.
Like I said, I've been saying that he needs to learn how to fight, Franklin.
Okay.
Because
he can barely walk at this moment. What's he gonna do getting into a fight?
He could pop him with that cane and be done with it.
He ain't got to fight him. He doesn't have to fight him. He's just like, look, bro, you ain't. Let me check you. You're not gonna be getting in my face like this. We both hurting. We both messed up. But that don't give you the right to be getting in my face. If you want to go have a child tantrum, take your ass in that room and throw around another chair and a table. Go ahead, Nita.
Larry talking about he can barely walk. He fucking though.
He could have hit him with that cane.
Lord, oh my God! And did you see how he got up too? See, this is what y'all women don't know. When we get a good nut, it don't matter what we feeling. We good.
Exactly.
He got up out that chair without that cane. I forgot to mention that part. When he was done with her, he went to that phone. He ain't grabbed no cane, and it ain't look like there was nothing wrong. Well, hey, he limped his ass over there quick like Usain Bolt. Yeah,
I told y'all deaf and blind for 3 seconds.
Right.
Oh my goodness, Moochie. Man, let me get to go ahead. Go ahead.
My second point is that I feel like that was not the time for Franklin to put the hammer down. The hammer should have been put down in season 3, episode 1, when he thought about getting in the middle of their beef. That's when you should have asserted your authority with you being a plug, not with Leon and him grieving his brother, him grieving the situation that is because of Franklin's stupid ass mistake, not listening to the rules of power. That is what that was. That he put that finger up because he said, let him have his time. He needs that.
Mm-hmm.
He's going through a whole lot of stuff. Like, yeah, I believe it's time for Franklin to put the smack down on people, but at the same time, it's not for Leon in that moment. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying about anything else except for when he decided to get his ass entangled in that whole Scully and Manboy shit. He should not have done that. Period.
Okay.
Period.
Okay, I hear you. Last point, then we out of here. And y'all should know about this.
Lamont, I think we also have to remember that Leon's primary goal is not to be known as some sort of hardcore dude on the street that you can't mess with. His goal is to be a businessman and make as much money as he can. His primary goal is to keep the peace with everyone. So it's hard to keep the peace when you beat someone's ass or shoot him and kill him.
Yeah,
and that's
but
why he's in this problem that he's in right now.
It's hard to keep the peace when you get punked too. I mean,
but he's not getting punked. I think it's a difference between someone saying, okay, it's like if a 12-year-old kid came
Larry,
up
I'm changing the subject. We done been on this 5 minutes. We're moving on to the end. Irene and the daddy. She basically steps to the daddy and says, I got all the information. You need to talk. Daddy at first ignores her. And finally, they left it on a note where it looks like the daddy is going to talk. Moochie, you go first. Is the daddy going to sing to Irene, or what we going to get? Would the daddy flip on the family? He's vulnerable.
Did y'all peep Wanda hearing the father?
Yes, I saw that. I saw that. I saw Wanda listening to everything.
Okay. Now, I feel like at this point, he's so desperate to get Franklin out of this. He's gonna try to take up on the offer, because she already letting them know, if you don't come with me now, y'all all getting aired out with Reed and the CIA. So she's giving them she's letting them know, like, I could spin this where you don't look like look like the bad guy.
Larry, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna rat on the family?
I don't think he's gonna rat on the family. I think he's gonna rat on the government.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How can he do that? How can he do that without putting Franklin in a bad position?
Well, I think that's where the storytelling is going to come in. Okay. I think that's where the conflict is going to come in, where he's going to have to try and do that very thing without implicating his son or getting his son so deep into it that he can't get him out of it. But I mean, we know how the story turned out, so we know his son gets implicated. But I think he's going to attempt to do it by implicating the government.
Okay. I can't wait to see that. Nita, you get the last word, then we are up out of here.
Okay. So I think that he is going to tell some things. And the fact, you know what I'm saying? I was thinking about the fact that they keep the street life kind of away from the government to try to protect themselves, including protecting them at the same time, the street people. But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like they could just do anything to kind of get them off the map. So as the government and as the people who can assert power in that type of way. So at the same time, it could be both. And like I said, I keep trying to figure out how the Rick Ross story shakes out. And I keep saying I'm gonna watch a documentary, but I'm just enjoying just seeing this kind of play out without me trying to say what they're going to take and what they're going to adapt from real life to, whatever. So,
somebody was saying that Wanda was gonna try and give her information so she can get money for some drugs. I think Wanda is actually going to take this information back to Leon and Franklin.
I do too. That's exactly what I think Wanda's going to do.
That's what I was trying to tell Say too when she was there listening. I didn't want to but
that's why I think. Now, do you guys think they could spin this in a way somehow, some way? Because someone made a good comment. The dad is Black Panther. He's Black Panther, so most likely he's not going to snitch. Could this be spun in a way where he goes back to jail on behalf of the family? Could they pin the whole entire organization on him? Is that possible?
I don't think they want the dad. I mean, he might try and offer himself up, but I don't think they would want him. I mean, he's a former junkie who now runs a homeless shelter. I don't see them wanting him. I think they would go after maybe the mother, try and pin her as the queen pin since she's a a businesswoman and making these downtown connections with these politicians and developers and such. They might see her as a potential target to go after.
Of course, a woman, right?
Well, not just because she's a woman, but because of her connections. I mean, for it may be convenient for them that she's also a woman.
Irene is this prestige journalist. His mother name ain't come up in nothing.
She mentioned it when she was talking to him.
She did, but she
mentioned the mother when she was talking to him right there.
But
which may make her even more desirable once her name does come up, because then it might seem like she's really the head of the snake and that everyone, is sort of underneath working under her. So she may present, even though Franklin's actually the head, it may seem as if she's actually the head of the organization.
Mm-hmm. And they just might position it where the mom takes the fall and Franklin keep on rolling, because I don't know what this dad is going to do. This dad is going to do something. He's going to do something.
This might be their cue to get out of town
and go to Little Rock.
Yeah.
I mean, that ain't stopping.
Quiet. Remember, they was gonna leave before.
That ain't stopping Irene from figuring out where they're going.
In my thing, I would think that he would take the fall for his wife and his son.
The problem is you can't hide from the CIA.
That's right. You can't. You can't. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got for y'all tonight. I done gave y'all bonus. I done gave y'all 45 minutes over. Got this poor child in here still wide awake, just looking at me, smiling like, "Hey, Daddy, get over here, Dad." No, see, now she done probably missed her sleep.
This one on me, because I kept my stuff short.
Man, you ain't stay under no minute, man. If you stayed under a minute, you got a clock that rotate. It get down to 59 and then it start over again. You ain't stayed under no minute.
I thought you said in multi, in increments of a minute.
Oh,
so I kept on. I get to like 2.5, and I was like, yeah, I got to round it up to 3 because I thought you said it'd be increments of a minute.
You talking about the multiverse of madness, huh? That's the kind of clock you got. Something that's in the Marvel multiverse of madness where it just keep rotating. Go ahead, Moochie.
I got one more question for y'all.
Go for it.
Didn't Jerome know about the CIA thing before they went to Little Rock?
Nope.
I thought he said, "Can't you get that guy?" He didn't say that when they had that meeting.
He knew the guy, but he didn't know he was CIA.
Okay, all right. No, I just was like, I'm thinking,
he was just trying to pull out the big guns, like whatever he could.
Right.
Okay, all right. So he thought he could just get guns and stuff for the guy to come kill everybody then before they had went after Scully.
Yeah. There was one thing I did mean to mention earlier. That scene where the cops rolled up on Franklin and Peaches, and they went through his trunk and slammed Franklin on the trunk of his car. I was thinking to myself, as a cop, would you really do this? Because word had to have come down that other dude, the other cop, was messing with Franklin. Mm-hmm. And then he ended up basically getting shoved off into an evidence locker somewhere for the rest of his career. Word like that travels quick, and that people would just simply leave him alone. Like,
and they haven't even brought the cop back. They ain't even bring that cop back, Larry. He's still gone.
He's still gone. So I mean, to me, it sort of feels a little inauthentic that they would have this random cop just all of a sudden have the gusto to go after him. You would think that people would be like, nah, if we're gonna go after him, we probably should have a federal cooperation and let one of the alphabet soup, agencies go after him.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
were you talking about the white cop or are you talking about the black detective?
Yeah, I was talking about the black detective probably wouldn't have gone after him because word would have come down after that white cop got sent off and sent to the evidence locker. Word would have got out. This dude is not to be messed with. He's connected, and you need to just leave him alone.
It's different now because the little girl got killed.
It's 1980.
Yeah, I know it's 1980, but all this happened in the 80s.
They're not giving the black cops and the black detectives the in on what's going on.
They treated the other one different too when he was getting close to stuff. The one that the neighbor.
But don't y'all think that if they are willing to put the white cop in a locker room job,
what are they willing to do to the black cop?
They'd be willing to fire the black cop for getting too close to something, don't you think?
Yep.
Which means you would know as a cop, this kid is to be left alone. He's connected, just leave him alone.
Mm-hmm. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we enjoy your company. We hit 200 people in this chat. Be sure to like all our videos, like our channel. Go back and check out the trailer reviews I do. I try to give you guys clues in the trailers that you might overlook because the trailer moves so fast. Nita the Diva, her link is in the description. Muchella's link is in the description. Larry the Tech Genius, his link is in the description. And y'all know you can catch me anytime you want. Till that next Sex is Hell video, which will be tomorrow when we break down the Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 2. We'll see you at 9.
Peace.